Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, please subscribe. If you're not, hey, what's up? Welcome back. Today, it has been such a long time since I've filmed a video, and my god, you have no idea how good it feels to be back here. Today I'm going to be discussing a topic that I know is very controversial, especially amongst like younger people, but I've been gone for a certain amount of time now off many social medias, majority of social medias, mainly for a couple reasons. The story does have a little bit of a backstory that goes back like what, 2 years or something like that, but this series in general I think is what it's going to become. It's going to be called a transformation series. I'm not saying that I'm a completely different person, I'm just saying that I've been through a lot in the past couple months, you know, spiritually, physically, all that sort of stuff. You may not be able to notice a difference because my changes aren't so dramatic that everyone kind of notices it or something like that, but for me personally, I've gone through a lot and I just wanted to share this with you guys, not only to become closer but also for the people that are going to go through the same changes. I'm just going to share my story, and I don't know, I hope you guys enjoy it. So I'm just going to get started on part 1. There's going to be 4 different parts to the series, but part 1 is about plastic surgery. Oh, that's so controversial. Basically, there's a little bit of backstory to this part, but it was about 2015 or 2016, I can't remember. Little Paige got, you know, like not really forced because it sounds really bad, but you know, there was this massive hype about kissing this boy and all that sort of bullshit, so I was just kind of like, you know what, YOLO, let's do it. Yeah, anyways, I kissed this boy, and then like 2 days later I was lying in bed and I was just like, I feel like such shit. I felt like I was swallowing glass. It was terrible. It was the worst moment of my life. And my grandparents were actually looking after me because my parents were away, but I literally was so sensitive to light. I had the worst migraine and I literally could not talk or swallow or anything like that, and it was so painful. And then, so anyway, my grandma was just kind of like, oh, if you're not well in the next 2 days, we'll take you to a doctor, because I was having time off school. And anyways, they said it was strep throat. They gave me penicillin. I was on that for ages. Turns out it wasn't strep throat, it was actually glandular fever. And yeah, I was on medication for ages for it. And then glandular fever, if you don't know, lasts around 2 months. And then everything just kind of goes away naturally over time. Anyways, it'd been 2 months and my tonsils in the back of my throat was still huge. And it got to the point where it was like swallowing was still hard, and my mum was just kind of like, no, don't be a pussy, you're fine. And I just kind of told her, I was like, Mum, you can still see my tonsils are huge, like please take me to a doctor. And then eventually she let me go, and they said that I had to go see a specialist. I went and saw the specialist, and he literally like shone, I think that's the right word, a flashlight down my throat and was like, yeah, you need to get those out as soon as possible. And my little bitch ass, I am so afraid of needles. I have the biggest phobia you can probably ever imagine. And so thinking of, what was I was 16, and thinking of undergoing surgery was terrifying to me. I freaked the fuck out. I didn't know what to do. And then he stuck like a camera rod thingy-majiggy up my nose, and he was just like, yeah, you need to get like your nose done too. And my 16-year-old self freaked out. Yeah, I don't know, I guess it all just kind of started from there. I then underwent surgery February 2nd, 2017, I think it was. Yeah, I think that was it, or February 1st, something like that. And so had that surgery, but before the surgery I lost a whole heap of weight, and they couldn't keep me under to be able to do the entire surgery. Not only did they have to take my tonsils out, but they also had to take something in my nose called the adenoids out, which is where basically from having glandular fever they had swollen up to the point where they were touching the bone in my nose, and apparently I could only breathe out of like 6% of my nose. I don't know, that's just what I got told. And then he told me that I was born with something called a deviated septum. And I'm just waiting for the hate comments to scroll in right now. This is what a lot of famous people get nose jobs for, and I understand that. I understand that it's such a big controversial topic of people being like, oh, I got a nose job, you know, it was medical reasons, I was born with a deviated septum. Like, I get that. I understand why people get hate for that, because it's such a popular thing for people to get nose jobs for. But in my case, I literally physically could not breathe out a majority of my nose. So I was going to undergo that entire surgery, but I lost a whole heap of weight right before the surgery. So they couldn't give me enough anesthetic to be able to keep me under for long enough. So once the surgery was over, they had to tell me that I could come back in 6 months and have the rest of the surgery then, which is when they would break my nose and put it straight and whatever. I was still 16 at the time. I didn't want to go back under the knife, and so I just decided to not do it and just live with my symptoms and hate my life. So yeah, so that's my down brief, that's my backstory to this entire thing. Yeah, it was about late August, early September this year, 2018. Heaps of things going wrong with my nose. It was just really annoying me, and so mum was just kind of like, why don't you just book another another appointment with your surgeon, and you can talk through it if there's anything you can take for it to help it, blah blah blah. And I was kind of like, yeah, all good, thinking he'd give me like some prescriptive medicine, I don't know. But I'm waiting in line and he calls me in, and I get into the room and we're talking about my last surgery back in 2017, and everything went fine and all that sort of stuff. And then he just kind of, I was talking him through what was happening now and if there's anything I could do to just fix the fact that I was always having really like congested noses, and I was getting nosebleeds, and just, it was really bad. And so he was just kind of like, oh, like, do you want to have the rest of your surgery? And I, like, that was the last thing in my mind. Like, I really did not think that that was going to happen. And I was kind of like, okay. Which sounds so bad, and I understand that. And so we started taking photos, and we did the draw ups and everything right there in that appointment. And then he goes, okay, cool, so we will give you a call when there's the next availability to have a surgery. I go through a private hospital. I get a call about 3 days later, and they say we have an opening in 2 weeks time if you'd like to have your surgery then. And I'm one of those people that freak out. Like, if I have to wait a really long amount of time to be able to, like, before like a surgery or getting injections or anything like that, anything that freaks me out, if I have to wait a really long amount of time for myself to be able to do that, I start freaking out. I overthink it in my head. I think of all the worst imaginable things, and it just sucks. So the fact that they literally called me and was like, hey, we've got an opening in 2 weeks, do you want it? I was like, yep. And I just took it. I didn't have time to think about it. It was amazing. I underwent the surgery, and I'll insert some progress photos. Yeah, so I underwent the surgery. Everything was good and fine. They broke my nose, put it back into place. They inserted something called a spreader graft or something like that. I don't actually know what that is. Apparently it's supposed to open the breathing passage or something like that. But they did that, and then they shaved down some of my bone, because I'll put like a side on here, but yeah, I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, so I did that, and I just remember the night that I got it done, I was lying down in my hospital room, and my surgeon came in and he goes, oh yeah, like, just letting you know, like, you look really good, you've got no black eyes, because that was something that I was just kind of like having a bit of a laugh about, like, oh shit, I'm gonna have real bad black eyes, because I researched it, stupid me. And I saw that people got really bad black eyes and they just looked bad overall. And yeah, he came in, he goes, he's like, you know, like, you look pretty good, doesn't look like you're gonna get any black eyes, I'm pretty good at not giving people black eyes. So I was like, oh thanks, like, you know, to my surgeon. And I wake up at around 3 AM in the morning and I needed to go pee. And I went to the bathroom and I like caught myself off guard, and I was like, the fuck is that? And I look at my eyes, and like, from like the middle in was like bright purpley blue, and I was like, oh fuck, here we go. And then yeah, anyways, I don't really know how to explain it, but pretty much every day for the next like 8 days, it was just like all different shades of 50 shades of fucked up on my eyes, to be honest. Like, it was really bad. My mum actually ended up waking me up one night when I was sleeping, thinking that I was literally gonna bleed out of my eyes. But yeah, overall it was hard to sleep for the first like 8 days until you get your cast off, because you physically cannot breathe at all out of your nose. So sleeping was really hard. But other than that, the surgery was super all good. If anyone needs surgery or anything like that for your nose, if you're freaking out about it, 100% it is the most easiest surgery. I don't know if that's gonna calm anyone's nerves, but me going into it, I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, like this is gonna be so shit. I'm gonna have a massive cast on my face for ages. It was literally on from like 8 to 10 days, and then they take it off. But the one thing is, I have to tell you, is that it takes 3 months for the entire swelling process of your nose to go down. So I've still got until about the end of December, I think, until my swelling goes fully down. So we're not all the way there yet, but we're getting there. If there's anyone out there that needs to get nose surgery, I recommend it, honestly. My nose, my breathing is so much better. I no longer have any of those bad like processes that my nose went through. But yeah, I highly recommend it. But I do want to say to those girls out there that may have a deviated septum but don't have any of the shitty symptoms that come along with it, if you're getting it done just for the cosmetic reason, do it because you want to, because it's going to fix your nose, it's going to fix your breathing, and maybe it might, you know, you'll get the chance like I did because I was 18. Maybe you'll get the chance to make your nose look a little bit different. But don't do it for the fact of you think other people are gonna look at you and think that you're prettier, or that other people's opinion on you is gonna change. Don't do it for the reason of someone else wanting you to, because that is gonna become very addictive. You're gonna want more plastic surgeries, and I don't recommend it in that sort of form. Yeah, getting a little bit deep right now. Yeah, that's just my take on plastic surgery. If it's gonna make you feel better, you personally want it done for your health benefits, and even just for you to think that you like it better. It's up to you, it's your body, you can do what you want, but as long as your decision doesn't come from other people's opinion, then I say go for it. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for sticking along with me during this period. I'm sorry that I've been very absent. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.